Jacob Trouba has fallen out of favor with the New York Rangers, and it looks like Chris Drury would like to get him out.
Oh, yeah.
There is a 15-team no-trade list that Jacob Trouba has. It went from, I believe, from a full to a 15-team.
We'd like the list, please, Jacob.
You would, right? You would probably assume there'd be, hey, we will take Jacob Trouba, 2 years left, $8 million. And if you want to throw in a first, we'll do that. But chances are, Flames are probably on that no trade.
What's behind the Trouba issues?
I think he's a good player making too much money.
Makes lots. He's the captain of your team.
That I don't know. I asked you this, Boom, the other day. It's like, can you recall a team actively trying to trade their captain? Like it's probably happened a few times, but God, it feels weird. And like the player gets, you can have polarizing views on. The human's phenomenal. We've seen all kinds of videos of him handing out scholarship money, and like he's embedded in that community. Like he absolutely operates like a captain in one of the, the biggest, brightest markets in hockey. It's really odd. And
his numbers in the playoffs, especially that Carolina series, he got buried.
Captain.
And it is, but you know what? It happens sometimes where it's an unfortunate spot, and you can either choose to ignore it or you can take it head on. And I think that's what Drury's trying to do. Now, just again, looking at their depth chart, Braden Schneider, Adam Fox, Jacob Trouba on the right side. I would think at this point, Schneider's probably moved past
the process
Trouba.
Of passing him. Yeah.
Keandre Miller, Ryan Lindgren, and Zach Jones on the left side. And there may be other guys in the system. Here's your captain making $8 million.
He's probably
against the cap. He's your captain, and you might be healthy in the guy, depending on what
careful here, Rangers. Like how many games have you watched with the Rangers where Jacob Trouba's physicality has completely influenced the flow of the game?
100%. And I don't understand.
Last 2 trips to New York for the Flames, that happened.
Whoa, and it's all he went head first into the boards. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and we also, so he's fine. Like, I know I didn't think he played that well. I'm 100% in agreement with that. But why does everyone else that doesn't play well? Probably was some bumps and bruises.
Yeah, like Leon, it's like, oh, he's obviously was hurt. And it's like, yeah, he probably was.
Like,
but no one's given Jacob.
Yeah, you watch Jacob Trouba go Superman face plant into the boards, and he's supposed to pop up. Hey, fine, no problem. Like, I gotta wonder if there's something that. Anyway, I don't know. The other side of it is, if malcontent is the word, wasn't happy in Winnipeg, was kind of getting me out of here.
Yep.
Is it a personality trait? I don't know.
I think he's been a great leader and he loves it there. And someone had posted a picture of him with his wife at a hospital, and like there's lives away from hockey here. And that's why you negotiate for a no move clause, so that you can protect your family from the risk of just getting sent anywhere at any time. And what I'm fascinated with is when they asked for Jacob Trouba's trade list, does Jacob go through the 15 cities that are least desirable to him, or does Jacob go through the 15 teams that probably want to add him and make life really difficult for Chris Drury, who's making life difficult for him? Like, if you just checked all the teams that are like, we're a defenseman away, we're contenders, go flex your no move there, because no one else is going to give you much for him if they don't need a Trouba.
Drury's got a bit of the black hat right now, because he did that with Barclay Goodrow a couple weeks ago, where we're going to trade you. Well, I have a no trade. Okay, well, how about waivers? Because you don't have a no move. You've got it. So, and then he ends up in San Jose. Now, Trouba is whatever the story. I will prevent. I don't know the exact details. Wife's a doctor. She's involved in New York. They don't want to leave. They don't want to leave New York. We can understand that. But you also don't want to be somewhere where where you're not wanted. And it would be embarrassing at some point when you're the captain and you know that your team is actively trying to trade you. And then maybe if your play is suffering either because of that or just regardless of that, not ideal. So
it's tough to be a captain. You're not supported by the management and the coach. You know what I mean? That is an awkward room to be in.
And the word is that's where what it's been since the request for the 15 trades is like Jacob's like beside himself. Like, everything I've given to this org, like I don't want to leave. Why do they want me gone?
Yeah.
And it's mostly probably just too much money, but he didn't have a good playoffs. He's not going to be an analytics darling. That's not what he does. He intimidates, he imposes his physicality, he leads.
Boy, when he plays, you've watched games where you're like, hell yeah, I'll take him on my team.
Like, maybe that poor play dates back prior to the playoffs, but we just watched closely, right? The focus and the lights shine brighter. Chances are probably there's been some questionable play prior to the playoffs, because you're right.
I don't
just
know.
look at a bad 2 or 3 week stretch and we only got to trade our captain.
Or are you just looking at it if you're Drury as he makes 8, our defense core is solid without him.
He's our 5th best guy making 8.
If I can eliminate that, that's a lot of dough for a guy I don't need.
It's cutthroat as hell. Like it's kind of like how Tampa approached Stamkos. It's like, yeah, this isn't the feel good, easy thing to do. This is absolutely like psychopathic, cutthroat, win at all costs. But that's how he approached the Goodrow thing. He's not a great defender by the numbers, but again, he is the most feared hitter in the sport. Period. Stop.
Yeah.
There's no one you fear more with his shoulders than Jacob Trouba, and his elbows occasionally. But that's what he is. That he hasn't had a bad year for that. He's crushed guys all year. He's put Jacob Pelche back in the minors, from which he might not return. He's
looking at the Rangers draft capital. If it was going to cost them a first to move him out, they have a first. They have no second, third, fourth. They have 1 5th, and it's Minnesota's 5th, as they have moved out a bunch of picks. Drury
but wait, you're not going to pay to get rid of him, are you?
They might be at that point.
$8 million.
But if you're another team and he's on, like, there's 15 teams out there, or 17 teams, 15 trade, whatever.
16, because one of them's the Rangers.
Is
you're not asking me, are you?
Half the league is able to get him. There has to be a few teams that would go, yes, this would be a really good.
And so has Jacob put those teams on his list? If he wants to stay in New York, that's the move. If Chris Drury wants to play like hardcore, ruthless, they can do that too. So Detroit would have loved them. Guarantee put Detroit on the list.
Be interesting to see what happens when emotions kind of take the summer.
You'd have to weigh that, though. Sorry, Dean, I cut you off there, but you really have to weigh that, because you go through the 32, 31 teams, and okay, so you're not going to go to Detroit, who want you, but Detroit's up and coming. Then you're going to leave Calgary open, and you might end up in a place where you don't want to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, there would have to be some homework done on that scenario. Yeah,
no, I know. And that's why I'm fascinated by it, because that's like the tactical thing. He doesn't want to leave New York. At some point this summer, Dean, I agree with you. He'll come around to the reality that he has to move on. I don't know that his camp's there yet.
To Rhett's point, that's a big game of chicken. If you're going to put a bunch of good teams on your no trade just to try and get into a pissing match with Chris Drury, and then all of a sudden you end up in, like you say,
back
somewhere
in Winnipeg
you don't want to be.
That would be the peak hilarity. And look, live by the sword, die by the sword. He was pretty cutthroat with the Jets.
Yep. He played the system.
And, that kind of reminds me of who was the European defenseman, Tim Eriksson, the Flames drafted. He's like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to sign, guys. And I want to go play for the Rangers. And, and that was the Roman Horak swap that Jay Feaster had to make.
What a pickup.
And you know what? It's like, okay, Tim Eriksson, you want to be a see you next Tuesday? Off you go to New York. They didn't use him. He went and rotted in Hartford, and then went to Columbus and rotted in their minor league teams. Like, well, that's what you get, maybe. A little karma coming at you.
Tim Eriksson didn't want to be a Flame, goes to New York, stinks. Adam Fox doesn't want to be a Flame, goes to New York, terrible. When are these guys going to learn?
It's a trend. Definitely a trend.
Figure it out.
Wasn't even top 2 in Norris votes this year. What a bum.
Top 2. Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long-form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.